All right, let's see if we can get this happening. Maybe actually live on 2 streams today. Let's see. Come on, Facebook. Come on. You're trying hard. I'm almost a minute late. She's thinking. All right. Did I get her? I think we did. Rock and roll. Sorry, I'm a minute late. Took Facebook a little bit of time to get their login business together, but I think we're here. And Brandon, Steve Cordis, and the crew. I am streaming again simultaneously on YouTube and Facebook. So I don't know what technical gremlins were causing me this issue for the past two times, but whatever thing happened is fixed. So I'm YouTubing and Facebook Live in same time. I am still having Facebook forced us to move to the new interface, the new Facebook Live interface. I don't know. It still has one feature that bugs me, and the feature is that I cannot see who joins. So I can only see you guys now if you comment. So again, be sure and just say hi, even if you don't want to, be involved in the conversation. It's the only way for me to know that you're here. Before the previous one, whenever you just viewed the stream, it would say so and so has joined. You didn't have to say anything, but unfortunately now it's required that you actually comment for me to be able to see you. So you guys keep the comments rolling, and again, if you guys have questions, things you want to chat about, just holler, and I'll do my best to add them to the mix. Quincy Simon's in the house. What's happening? Trip Harrison, what's up? Well, both you guys right up top, Quincy and Trip, first two to check in, and you guys have been doing some crazy rides, like 100 plus, 200, crazy things like that. Doing some pretty sweet gravel adventures. So yeah, Quincy's my buddy up in Kansas that many of you guys know. Him and his dad and family have all come down and done many of our dirt races and gravel races as well too. Chip's young buck on a bike lab doing his thing, and it's all good stuff. Stephen Cordis, hello back at you. Charlie Lingerfelt, what's up? Jeremy Coleman, what's up back at you? Albert, you're not late to the party at all. Albert Simon checked in, and we're just getting rolling. I was actually a minute late because I was having trouble with something covered up my go live button on YouTube, so it took me a minute to redo that, but I think we're pretty good. So John Farrow, what's happening? Hi back at you. Oh, Charlie, yeah, you have 6 or so Instagram posts on Creator Studio that are hung in schedule. Yeah, hey, I tried to find a way around it, and I'm still going to have to consider a way around it. But sorry, I got a Facebook post. I've been in a thread all day, as we'll talk about today, off and on. I've been kind of stirring up some nests because I have a little issue with one of my topics that we'll talk about tonight. So I just got a message from one of my friends, and again, we'll address that later. But Charlie says 6 or so Instagram posts on Creator Studio. Yeah, I've had nothing but trouble with it. I don't like it. It doesn't work well. It literally took 45 seconds from the time I clicked go live as it spun in a circle and then finally actually went live. And then for whatever reason, I'm pretty sure it was the issue in my previous 2 shows. It would not, whatever it was doing, it was taking over my camera access, and it would not allow my camera to be shared across 2 tabs. Because for months, I've been simultaneously streaming on YouTube just to save me the time from having to export and upload to YouTube after the fact. Plus, we have a few people that do actually prefer YouTube. And I've been doing Facebook Live at the same time. For the last 2 episodes, I've not been able to do that because literally it would not allow me to do it. So there was some camera conflict. And now, for whatever reason, today, that's resolved. I didn't do anything. same computer, same setup. Hell, I probably haven't even restarted since last week because I keep my computer running 24/7. So yeah, I agree with you. Amy Clark, hey, yeah, back at you. I will see you tomorrow. So we'll have to go get some beers and some nice food. Alex Canada, what's happening? Georgito, what's happening? GT, what's up? Just hanging and chatting with the cool folks. Albert, I am actually feeling pretty good. I turned a corner early last week and feel really good, but because of being off the bike, I've literally ridden my bike over the last 4 to 5 weeks, maybe 3 or 4 times, and those are leisurely, like on the bike path rides. For whatever reason, I feel I kind of turned the corner this weekend. I did a hike and a big hiking and kayaking this weekend. I rode yesterday, had some bike issues, and so I had to cut it short. I rode my trainer tonight and attempted my interval plan, but my fitness is way, way off the mark. So I made it about halfway through my intervals at those levels, those power levels. So I think it's probably going to take me another week, 2 weeks at this point to get close to back to where I was. But I feel like I'm on the right path now. So I'm super stoked that I finally turned that corner. So. All right. Trip, no flirting on the live. Hey, busted, Trip. Busted. Guilty as charged. Kevin Peak, check in. You got it. Welcome. All righty. So topics for tonight. We're going to talk RDR, Red Dirt Rendezvous, Tour de Dirt, Lake Draper. It's going to be fun. And we'll have more info this upcoming week and weekend, and I'll talk more about it here in a jiffy. We're going to talk about the series championship. My good buddy Chad Shanks posted a question out there, very good question, and I will try to address it outside of the Weekly Wizard update tomorrow, just on all of the different media platforms. Or the different Facebook groups. I'm just going to do it via Facebook. But I'll do it as a text or as just a comment or as a discussion thread. Because I know many people still, a lot of people don't watch this or, so I want to be sure and hit everybody, but you guys be sure and spread the word. But we'll talk about how the championship series, how the final results, championship jerseys, championship points, how that's going to play out. The question was, with fewer races, will that change? Will the drops be the same? Will it still be the top 7 races, etc.? And I'll explain all that here shortly. That'll be one of the topics. And then the biggie, the one that has actually pretty much consumed almost all of my day on various threads. I'm lucky that I have a lot of people that I know, and I've got some pretty good information on it. I actually I contacted the somebody higher up in the state park area. Plus, I have 2 good friends, Scott Fraley and Lauren Mays, that are both park managers at their respective parks, and they both provided me information. And I've got one little issue. I've only got one issue with it. I think it's fine. I have no problem with it all. But I'll talk about all that. I want to talk about the state park fees and how all that played out. And honestly, Karen Fairless just popped in with a very, trying to be funny, and it is funny. And hell, we'll add that as a topic because it was bizarre today. She says, "Hey there, I did suffocate in the dust storm tonight." How bizarre is that? Honestly, I think it's probably a little bit unusual for you guys, especially up in Eastern Oklahoma and in the metro areas. Not as common that you guys see this. It's actually pretty common for me because I have farms all around me where I live, and then I have some parks, but really basically it's farmland, various different crops that we have out here. And we're right in the middle, almost complete with cutting our first, wheat harvest. And then also some of the other farmers are preparing for whatever's coming next. I'm honestly not very in tune with all of it. I just notice it when I'm on my bike rides or when I'm driving to the park and stuff. But everybody's been cutting and a lot of people are plowing. So it's pretty common this time of year. Wind gets up and basically the sky turns reddish brown and riding is a little difficult to breathe. So pretty common for me out here, but I think it's a little bit unusual to have it so statewide. Carolyn's in Tulsa. I was talking to my girlfriend Amy earlier. She's in Oklahoma City, and I'm all the way out here in southwest Oklahoma, so that covers a pretty big swath of Oklahoma, and everybody's looking at the sky, and it looks cloudy and hazy, and it's dirt. So pretty unusual, but great comment, Carolyn. I'm glad you did that because I don't know, something fun to talk about. I missed a couple up here. I got a little bit out of it. Alex Canada popped in. I don't know if I responded to Alex, but hey, Alex, what's up? Did GT, got Albert. Stephen Smith, I miss Stephen, man. Smitty, my buddy. I saw Stephen, you've been taking some Van Duick trips on your weekends off. So, man, we're gonna have to get together and do some riding. I think we're to the point where we can start doing some of that now. And Don Jonathan checked in. Don, good evening. Don is with Team Phoenix and the actual promoter that had to do all the permitting work and stuff of that nature. And I'm sure he'll have some good comments and some information to share with us when I discuss RDR here shortly. In fact, I think I will do that now. I don't think I've missed anybody. Real good day. Support the parking fees. Gary C. Miller, you got it, Gary. See what order I want to do. Let's start with the just the Tour de Dirt series. I'll come to RDR in just a second. I want to lead in with just the Tour de Dirt and the race series. So, barring anything unusual, I mean, the races are definitely going to be different. We are going to have to follow CDC guidelines. There may be variances in that on how we do it, just based on the location, the specific venue rules. I mean, we're all going to have to follow the local municipality rules, and also we have the standard, CDC guidelines that we have to follow. But there's a possibility of local municipality rules. I don't know how that'll play out, honestly, and we'll play it by ear. So there's going to be a different feel for the race, which I think we're all fairly used to. It feels different being at a restaurant. It feels different just doing normal things that we've gotten so used to doing. And it may take a while, I think, before we all feel comfortable with it. I think we're all, I know that I'm going to hug someone at this race, and there's going to be people that I go to hug and they're like, back off. And it's like, I know. So I think we're all that way, because I mean, we're all a pretty solid family. We have a really great bond, and coming to an event and not being together and not really, having, the physical touch and hot, and friendships that we all have would be difficult. But I think, it's just the times we live in. It's what we have to do. And it's better to be together and do a little racing and do a little talking and, sitting in chairs. And even if we've got to stay spread out a little bit, that's better than not being able to get together at all. So we'll make do. I want to talk specifically about the championship series. So right now, as is, we had 9 races on the schedule, and we've lost only one race barring something that comes up unexpected, crazy weather conditions. I don't know, something that comes up. And so if we're able to finish our season as it looks like we will, we're looking at 8 races. So not significantly different. Only a couple races shy of normal, and actually only 1 race shy of, I think, the last few years. Over the last 5 years, I think we've actually done 9 races for many of the seasons because of weather things or just random things that have happened during the year. And it's been fine. I've really not had to make any real changes. I don't plan at this point to make any specific changes. So basically, for those of you that are new, or even for those of you, I mean, honestly, this rule confuses the crap out of people, even people that have been doing this for a long time. And I spend a lot of time at the end of the year explaining this and actually attempting and helping people calculate their series points at the end. So essentially, as many of you know, we do standings. You get a certain amount of points per your placing for every race, and we tally that over a season, and we award a state champion and a second place and a third place. State champion getting a state championship jersey, and we also typically do a certain amount of payout for each, as well as an award. And we also allow what's called 3 drops. This is the tricky point, and this is what gets everybody. So basically with 3 drops, that means you can take 3 of your races, and a lot of people think that they actually have to pick this or choose this, but it's not. It's just a math thing. It's just mathematical. So if you have a DNF, or you have, you mechanical and DNF, or you just have to be gone, you have a family event, you can't make it and you miss, and so you get a 0 because you didn't attend the race for whatever reason, or you just have a bad day. You have a bad day and you get 10th, and you get like, I don't know, I'd have to look at my chart, but let's say you get 30 points versus 60. Well, that hurt, but you can drop 3 races. That means you have 3 chances of like just something bad going happen or missing or whatever, and you get 3 of those that just wipe away. So essentially, basically that means in a 10-race season, you drop 3 races. That means you get to count 7 races. So you'd be your top 7 races. The highest scoring 7 races would count. Or if you only had 6 would count. And if you only had 5 races, 5 would count. Okay. Now 5, nothing goes below 5 because you have to have 5 races minimum to be just to be eligible. If you don't have 5 races, you're not eligible. Okay. So it would be, your best 5 races if you only had 5 races. Anyway, so I don't think at this point I'm going to change anything, because with 8 races, which is what we essentially can have, that would leave us with 5 races. You take 8, drop 3, so 8 minus 3 leaves you 5. So basically, if you just do the 5 race minimum, I will count the top 5 races. And for that, I don't really see a reason to change. I don't see a reason to change the rule. I think the 3 drop rule still works. It still is in effect. And 5 races still make, for me, a pretty valid championship. I think if it was 3 races, 4 races, I'd question the validity of that, because that doesn't, for me. But 5 races is pretty solid. 5 races to me shows a valid state champion, and that's what I'm rolling with. That's my plan. So I'm sure there'll be more questions about that, because that really is a kind of a confusing point, especially when it gets close to the end of the season. But I'll be happy to help everybody with that. I do have to admit that I think because of the way things dropped off so quickly with COVID canceling everything and everything stopping, races stopping, all of us having to just shut down and go work from home, I have dropped the ball on updating the standings currently. I told someone earlier that I was going to try to get that done today, but I got involved in this whole conversation on social media today, spreading some information and having some conversations that I got sidetracked and didn't get that done. So I'll try to get that done over the next couple of days and get it updated, because we have a couple races to get on there. So because we did some races prior to, so yeah, so we're good. Okay, let me pop back up, and if you guys have questions on that, on the state championship series, be sure to let me know. Not series, but on the state championship rules and the changes that I'm not making. One thing I will say, however, though, is I don't know what I'm going to do for awards and payouts at the end. I'm just going to have to kind of wait and see how the budget plays out. Obviously, we're not pushing much at this point. I've kind of, all the sponsorship and all was kind of mid-work with right in the middle of when all this happened. So I'm not sure where we're at with that. I'm not sure how our numbers will play out. So a lot of our numbers and our plate sales that's where we get our money for the awards. So I'm contemplating at the end of this season to either reduce the payout or maybe do away with it just temporarily this one year. I will 100% still do state championship jerseys and some special award for first place, second place, and third place. 100% will do both of those things, but the cost of payouts is actually pretty significant. I don't, a lot of you probably don't think about it in totality because we have 28 categories. Typically, we fill about 23 or 24 of those. Just depends on, who shows up for races. And I probably have to pay out 19, 20 of those categories because of minimums. So pretty much every year at the end of the season, I walk into my local bank because it's the bank that that we operate through with Oklahoma Earth Bike Fellowship. I'm lucky that I have a branch here. I walk in and withdraw $5,500 to $6,000, and that is just for payout. That is not the cost of the awards, and that is not the cost of the championship jerseys. So championship jerseys, I'm looking at about $2,000, about $1,000 for awards. So we spend anywhere between $9,000 and $10,000 at the end of every season. So I'm not sure where we'll be at with the way things are going to play out. So we'll just wait and see how that plays out. I'll let you guys know. I'll make all those announcements when we get far enough along in September and October that I know. And who knows how things play out. So we'll see what happens. Okay, let me go up. I've missed a lot of people here. Let's see, Daniel Lemons. Is it absolutely. So Jackson and Tripp are chatting together. So I'll let them go. They're actually talking to one another on a live feed. Nice. Daniel Lemons says, ready to ride Steve this Saturday, camping and riding. What more can a guy ask for? There you go. I like it. I'll have to admit, Daniel, I've not been doing any trail work out there, and we've had a shit ton of rain. And I guarantee that place is growing up. It's amazing for all the rocks that are out there. There's still so much grassy areas. The trail will still be there because we've had a ton of hikers out there, but those little sneaky rocks on the edges where the grass is growing up are going to be tricky. So be careful. Michael Bond says, thanks for help guiding me through my first race, Michael. Yeah, Michael's been hitting me up some private messages, and we've been he's done some things in the past with motocross, and he's wanting to get into racing, and he's hooked, and he's gonna be racing RDR. I'm stoked. I'm glad we got a new one into the herd, and it's going to be fun, Michael. So I'm glad you're stoked, and hope you have a good time. David Copeland, anything unusual in quotations? There are mutant ticks next. Dude, who knows what's next, brother? I'm telling you. It's almost comical how much shit just keeps happening in 2020. It almost doesn't even seem real. I mean, what can come next? The old, the phrase "it surely it can't get worse," dude. That was thrown under the bus like early June, April probably. It's crazy. I don't even want to know what's going to happen next because there's no telling. Don says I normally don't give hugs, so it would be pretty normal for me. Nice. Oh, Trip's playing hardball here. It's giving me shit saying I'm flirting with him now. No, I'm just making sure just make sure you stay on your toes, because you got to do the right thing for your girlfriend. You need to be flirting with her, but I haven't seen her check in, so she must be dissing you. All right. I get 10th on a good day. 10th would be so Derek and GT are both talking about 10th would be awesome. On a good day. Sorry, I don't know. I didn't. How about DFL? If you have a bad day and get DFL, how's that? So Jeremy Black is late to the party, but still early to the party. We still got good stuff happening. Jeremy, miss you guys. Did see you're doing some riding, you're doing some good things at Skip, and you built a badass back porch, Jay Black. I'm ready for we need to have some back porch parties now. That's what's happening. Some bike lab back porch parties at Jay Black and Jennifer's house. That's coming soon. Hey Trip, you bet. We'll still figure something out, brother. I agree. I think doing some single speed trophies is cool. Something weird and crazy. Totally down with that. And we'll get together and finalize that. We'll fork out some dough for that. No problem. So you don't have to be out any money. Bob Davis says, listening from the couch. Well, good, Bob. I'm glad you're back home and glad you're all surgically repaired and on the mend. So I know it's going to be a long one, especially after your previous long one, but I'm sure you'll persist and be back before we know it. So Jeremy Coleman says, when is the last race now? OKTDB.org. Click events and you get the list. So we are looking at a break after RDR. So we're going to do RDR, like I said, in a couple weeks. And then we're going to move to September 6th, Lake Carl Blackwell, September 27th, Lake Claremore, October 4th, Turkey Mountain, October 11th, Sooner Stampede. And we're going to finish up the season, last race, with Fool's Dozen. So that is the plan. Again, it's been a crazy year. That's the plan, but who knows? So who knows what'll, I don't know. We're just going to roll with it. That's really all we can do is just roll with it. I honestly don't even, I haven't even met with my board. I feel bad. I sent a message to them and said, we need to have a Zoom meeting. And I just can't get my head wrapped around all the thoughts rolling through my head and the things that we need to do and decisions that we need to make. And I haven't even done the Zoom meeting, so I'll probably do that this week. Okay. Oh, man. Trip and Jackson, you guys crack me up, man. Brian McGinnis says, if I wear a full face helmet, do I have to wear an M95 mask? Hey, Brian, you can just wear whatever you want, bro. Well, you like to be different anyway, so it'd be cool one way or the other. I actually do not think I don't think. I know that we as racers and riders and participants will not be required to wear face masks. And obviously you can't do that during the race. There's just no physical way in a mountain bike race to do it without choking to death. The volunteers and the workers at RDR will actually have to do that. We'll do that. And I'm still looking at details, and I have a couple questions out, but there is a very specific list of guidelines that they will be doing. We'll talk about some of those in a minute. Don has sent me that list, and I have it on another tab, but I don't have it pulled up, so I'm going to be winging that. Daniel, yeah, I'm sure there will be a pre-ride at RDR, but I am not going to do an organized one probably this time. Maybe I will. I'll wait and see how it goes. I mean, honestly, the way I feel, I probably will be able to do a pre-ride. I am most likely not going to race RDR. I'm just going to work. I don't think physically racing right now is a good plan for me because I don't have an off switch. I can't just go into a race and, just ride it, just sign off on it and just ride it. If I go out and race, I'm going to race hard. And I don't think right now for where I'm at and my recovery, that it's a smart move. So I don't know, who knows? Maybe I'll feel significantly, maybe my fitness will all come back. But honestly, right now, with how I felt in the past month, my fitness is not even a level that I could compete right now. I don't know. We'll see how I feel, but there'll be some pre-rides, and the course will be marked this weekend. Courses will be ready. Wizards welcome on our back porch anytime. Beer fridge is stocked from Jay Black. Sweet. John Den, yeah. I didn't get that survey, but I've heard of a lot of people talking about that. And it's just like, I get the time trial thing because that would be a way to separate riders. I don't know. I'm conflicted really, John, about the whole thing. A lot of it has to do with just the data that we have and the conflicting data. I don't know. I guess the problem I have is that we're going to come in contact a little bit. No matter how strict things are with social distancing, all the CDC guidelines, there's going to be contact. It's just like going to the grocery store right now. I was in the city at the grocery store and I went to Sprouts over on May, and there were there was 75 to 100 people in there. That's not social distanced. It's not. We're lined up all together. We're passing each other in aisles. We came in contact, so it doesn't matter. We're already in that case. We've already touched. So, I guess the thing that I see with racing is that there's going to be a point when you're possibly contaminated, or you get close to someone, or more than 10 people are together. I get that we're supposed to limit it, and we're trying to limit it, and that's the thing. But to me, like an event like this, no matter how well you do, there's still going to be a few people that contact, or a few things that cause a contact, and at that point, essentially, it's a multiplier effect, and everybody's going to be impacted. So I don't know. It's just confusing. We're going to do the best we can. We're going to follow the guidelines as best as we can, and we're going to ask your help to do that. Team Phoenix has a plan. That plan was required for them to get the permit. I'm still seeking some very specific details about that plan, just so that when people ask me, I can share that. But from everything that I've read, I've been talking to Don Jonathan, who was on here, and just commented about a trail work day and cleanup and plan. And they have a plan, I think it's a positive plan, and I think it's one that will get the job done, and one that will still allow us to have fun. But yeah, so and John, agree. Even in a time trial, there's going to be overlapping riders. So at that point, what's the point of doing a time trial? If you have 100 riders doing a time trial, and 20 of them pass another rider, those touchings and those people coming in that proximity with one another have essentially negated the time trial plan. So you might as well just add a regular race, call it a day, and be good, because in the end, either way, you're still going to have pretty much the same amount of contact. It'd just be a way. There would just be a different way to manage the start shoots in the starting gates and the checking in before the race. Now that's going to be an issue and something I think we have to look at to be safe. Alrighty. I am 35-ish minutes in, so we need to get rolling. Let's see. GT says, don't ever give Brian McGinnis free range on what to wear to race, ever. That's a good plan, GT. Oh, man, you got to love some Brian McGinnis, man. I'll tell you what. I love his post. He was out in Wynnewood today. Saw some of his posts. Showed a video of a tractor trailer wreck, but I just thought it was funny because he was in Tiger King territory. So, what's up, Forrest Smith? Forrest from Wisco, Wisconsin, and ultimately responsible for Roadside Absurdities, which is a little group that I started, and hope you guys are part of. It's been getting a little play, and people have been having some really good fun with it. So it's been an enjoyable little site. I haven't been very active lately, but yeah, it's good. The Jetty says, let's just group hug and race. I know, right? I wish we could, but from a personal standpoint, it's what I would want to do. But from an administrator standpoint, I just can't do it. I don't care who's right. I don't know who's right. I'm not very political, but there's just certain things that I think we're going to have to do just to err on the side of caution and to be proper. And also I personally don't want us to do something with our race that would give cycling a black eye. I honestly have been seeing some really, really big group rides on the road cycling side. And some have been very quiet about it and been doing small groups, and I'm okay with that. But I've been seeing some really big ones, 15, 20, 25 people, 30 people. And I'm posting it all on Facebook. So I just personally feel that that's in poor taste. If you choose to do that, I'm totally fine with you doing that. But I really think right now we should not be posting that on Facebook and social media, because I don't care what side you're on, and I don't care what you believe. The simple fact is, by doing something like that, you are putting cycling in that position where there's going to be a negative side to it. And I think that you can do the things that you want. Just use a little restraint when you're taking pictures, talking about it on social media, and you can do what you want without giving cycling a black eye. I mean, a negative impact. They're like, man, look at those guys. They shouldn't be doing that. I just don't want that. I don't want that for cycling. We got a really good thing going right now. We got bikes flying out of the stores. We got riders all over. Saw a video earlier. Somebody was just talking about, don't screw this up. We've got a lot of people getting into cycling and outdoors. Let's don't screw it up. And, we're in a critical time right now. I think we really need to not screw it up. Need to be smart. Brandon Nesmith, what's up? How are you, Brandon? Haven't seen you in a while. I know, Forrest, still zero road porn up here. Same here, bro. I don't know. I think it's going to be really, really hard to come by because everything's streaming now. So I don't know. Maybe we can find like an old, maybe somebody's ditched their phone or something. I don't know. Who knows? John Denton, not Tiger King, soon to be Tiger Queen. I know, right? I guess she got rights to his property, so that's pretty crazy. Same Kevin Wagner. Daniel Lemons agree, keep it hush. Okay, let's talk more about RDR. I talked a little bit about it, but I haven't had any concentrated effort. So less than 2 weeks. Fixing to knock it out of the park. 21st, racing. It's going to be fun. They are currently working on the course. I think there was some post. Don made a post last week, and there was some talk. But I talked to a few people in the planning for that, and I think the course is going to be a little different. It's not going to be the course intended. So I think the plan is to possibly have a plan in place by Friday, in which they can release that information Friday or Saturday, and they're going to release that information out on Facebook. And then they have a trail cleanup day on Sunday where they're going to do the work, and then they're going to do a pre-ride afterwards. So don't know the course, but I've heard rumor that they're going to change it up a little bit. We're possibly going to, I don't know. So, and then also too, we have to consider, I haven't looked at the conditions that far ahead. Who knows? I mean, it was actually fairly decent today, minus the 4,000 mile an hour wind, but it's getting hot. So something we might have to consider, maybe we might have to make some modifications race day to shorten some of the races if it's crazy hot and humid. This is that time of year. It's just gotten hot. Many of us are just now getting acclimated. Heat is an issue. And so if we need to address that during that time frame, we will. And sometimes that means shortening the race a little bit just for the conditions. But we'll play by ear. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Especially in 2020, who knows? But regardless, by Friday or Saturday, there should be some information coming out. There were some questions on Facebook today, and I think I addressed them and other people addressed them as well too. So by rule, Tour de Dirt doesn't require the course to be marked until a week. All right. Yeah. Alex, I'll look that up, bro. Sorry, I just got a Facebook message from Alex, who's also checked in live here. Lost my train of thought. Yeah, I don't know. I was talking about, what was I talking about? Who knows? RDR racing. Oh, yeah. Tour de Dirt has a rule. So technically, by rule, the course does not have to be marked until the week prior to the race. I think there were some of you thought it was two weeks. And that's understandable because a lot of the promoters have venues that aren't as used quite as much as some of the courses. And so they've been actually getting out there and marking it way in advance so people could pre-ride it. I was lucky that I could do that with Steed. I could go out there and mark that thing and know that no one's going to mess with it. Unfortunately, some of the other more high-use venues, Draper is one of those. It's almost impossible to mark that 2 weeks in advance or even more because you just can't. People take it down, people move it. It's just, unfortunately, it's just the way it is. But it'll be ready this weekend and be good to go. So let's see, what else we do? See if I missed any messages. I think I'm good. Oh, no, there's a few. Let me scroll down here. Yeah, Kevin. Kevin says group rides are back to normal in Tulsa, 50 plus and fast groups. Yeah, I've been seeing that here in Oklahoma City too. And again, I'm hit or miss with whether this is a right or wrong move. And I don't want to say. I don't care. I think it's going to be personal choice. If you want to do it, great. If you don't want to do it, that's great. But I just think that we need to not post on social media because right now things are just touchy right now. There's just a lot of touchy things, and I just personally don't want to do anything that threatens the integrity of cycling. And I think that this could possibly do that. And really, the only thing that you need to do is just not post this stuff on social media. You can still do it. I don't care if you do it. but just don't talk about it. Just kind of wait till the media dies down, wait till these hot topics die down, and then you can talk about it. You can have a good ride. You can enjoy the camaraderie. You can enjoy the group. You can have a great training ride. You don't have to talk about it every time. You just don't. Paul, I don't know. Paula says reverse. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. I talked to a couple of people today. They said they had something in the works, and they were going to do a big reveal on Friday, and for the race course at RDR, and we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. So, honestly, it's not a super tech course. It's just dealing with cornering and sand. So, just if you're going to pre-ride right now and you need to go out there, just go ride the course. Just go ride it. It doesn't. Even if the course changes. And even if you didn't reverse, still though you're going to be solid. Just learning to corner, learning the sand. So, Jeremy Coleman, I wish you were. I don't think everybody feels that way. I agree. I'm still a little uncomfortable with it, and I'm still not my thing. But man, I think people are really just. A lot of people are just rolling right back into it, and they are doing it. Jeremy says, I feel like in our current situation, MTB riders and group riders are nowhere near anyone's radar. I think they are not in a lot of people, but man, there's a whole bunch of groups that they're just like, screw it, and they're doing it. And I'm seeing the pics. We just had a comment on here the other day. Just a minute ago from, Kevin in Tulsa, and he said he's seeing, they got some of their group rides rolling at 50 plus. I haven't seen anything that big here in Oklahoma City, but I've seen some pretty solid ones. I've seen some 20 plus ones. Again, I don't know where I sit with that, but my only thing is I just worry about the integrity of cycling in general. So I don't really care personally what your choices are or what mine are. I just don't want to be posting that on social media. So anyway. Okay. Anything for RDR or Red Dirt Rendezvous, Lake Draper? You guys definitely. Oh yeah, Jeremy, for sure. Meaning no one is concerned. Yeah, no. I think you're totally right, and that's surprising, I suppose. So, if there's any other questions or comments about RDR, I'm gonna roll on to the last topic. I think we'll cover more of RDR. I will make a few posts. I've asked Kevin Caldwell and also Don Jonathan. I'm hoping through the week they will start really hitting the advertising hard, start shooting information out to you guys about the courses. And I think I want to do a concerted effort too. I want to talk to everybody and make some lists and post them on all of the forums so that you can on all the groups so that you can share them. There will be some, like I said, some COVID CDC guideline things happening. One of the things is, we really push everybody to do online registration. If there's any issues with online registration, which I had a comment earlier about one thing, I had an email earlier in the week. I'm working with Don to resolve those now. Register online. When you register online, you do not have to sign a waiver. You just have to check in. There will be a waiver that we always have to sign at Draper that's different than every place else. It has nothing to do with racing or Tour de Dirt. It has to do with the use of the park. So you will have to fill that out. That is unfortunately a requirement. The only thing that I would recommend, Don, Kevin, I still recommend that you take that permit form or that waiver. I think it's a waiver that you have to sign for the use of the park, something of that nature. I still really recommend that you scan that and you post that on Tour de Dirt so people can download that and print it, fill it out beforehand, and then bring it, just give it to you. And then that way they don't have to touch a pen. They don't have to touch a table. They literally just give you a form, and that limits some of the things that happen, since there's no way to do that really other than physically turning it in. As for filling out registration and waiver forms, they are doing They are doing something that I think is fairly unique and a good idea. They're using disposable pens. So you grab a pen, you fill out your registration forms and your waiver and anything that you need to fill out if you didn't register online, and you keep the pen. It's disposable, or you toss it in a trash can, or you put it in your pocket. It's not to be reused, so the next person's not going to touch it. Obviously, there's going to be some touching between the forms and the papers, but they're going to do their best to sanitize all the tables and everything so that, but I mean, again, there's only so much you can do. If I walk up and grab a waiver form and then the next person grabs a waiver form, there's probably going to be some contact there. But again, I think that the surface things are much less of a threat now than they were anticipated earlier. It looks like some of the information coming out is that things are not sticking on surfaces quite as heavily or as long as they said earlier. All right, we need to move into this guy right here. So regardless, I'm really, we are going to be taking steps to keep you guys safe. I hope that you respect that, and I hope you do your best to help us. And then we have a gap. So all we have to do is be cautious and do our thing at RDR. And then we have a gap to kind of let things settle out until September. So maybe things will be different by September, and we'll get to rolling there. Let's see. I don't know. I don't really have anything else on that. So unless you guys have questions or anything like it. Yeah, CT says, please no licking the waiver forms. I know, right? Yeah, that might be a problem. Let's see. Jeremy Coleman says, still free beer. I don't know. I'm sure there'll be free beer somewhere. I'm not sure if RDR has a plan, but we may not be able to do that because, honestly, that would be a problem because everybody would be going to the beer tent and everybody would be touching it. You'd have to be real careful. You'd have to have someone actually you'd have to have like one person in control of the beer. They would have to like fill the cup and then set it on the table, and then you could only, so it would limit touching. And yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how that's going to play out. I don't know. Kevin says, wouldn't want motorists to get mad at cyclists. Yeah, I know that's not even really my concern, honestly. It's just public opinion. We're never going to make motorists happy of us being out there. That's why I go to the gravel more than I go to the road. Well, Bob asked a question. He says, if someone feels sick the morning of the race, could they get a refund or at least a race registration credit for another race? That way a sick person doesn't show up at a race despite feeling ill. We don't have any rule for that, Bob, but there's no reason we couldn't do that. We couldn't work something out. However, we also, outside of the cost, now, if they haven't registered online, then it won't matter. If they were going to register race day, then they're not out any money. They're just missing a race, and they do get a free drop like I talked about earlier. So that actually won't impact their series, but we don't have any rules in place for that. And there's so many things that we just really can't predict, but like so many things that have been happening over the last couple months, there's going to be a lot of flexibility to do a lot of things simply because who knows what's going to happen. Really. So flexibility is the key, and that's the way we'll be. So Derek, for sure, he says, hope things settle out by September. I need a vacation, and Bentonville is on the agenda. Boy, me too. I've been reading about all my buddies been going over there already. I'm still a little leery about the Northwest Arkansas thing because I've been looking at their numbers, and their numbers are crazy high. And they're really just opening up. They're pretty far behind us, I think, in their phasing, the way they've been opening up because of their high infection rates. A lot of that probably is because of population density and because, and for a while, I was still seeing posts from a ton of my Oklahoma friends going over there to ride, but Arkansas actually had a rule that if you were from out of state, you were not allowed to come into the state to visit state parks or trails. I mean, obviously, again, they're asking people not to do that, but there's no way to police that unless they see an Oklahoma tag in a parking lot. But I mean, who knows? So anyway, regardless of that, I don't know. I totally agree with you. I'm down. I'm looking forward to getting up there to that new section, that extension of the back 40 over on the west side. I guess it's called Little Sugar. So I've been seeing tons of posts about that, and I'm ready to get over there and try that out. It's time. I'm Derek. I'm like you, bro. I'm just, man, I'm missing my Northwest Arkansas fix. I haven't had it in a long time. Kevin Peak, you just can't see it, bro. It's hidden. It's hidden in my St. Crispin's mug or glass or can or well, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the appropriate term for this thing is, but it's in here. This is my box wine, my Card Bordeaux. I like that. Card Bordeaux. That's nice. Little, I think I got a little Cabernet Sauvignon today. I didn't go with the Merlot like I usually do. Oh, John Denton, quit starting rumors. You know, there's going to be a bunch of people believe that now. He said he heard COVID dies at 32 degrees, so bring extra ice. You probably just convinced 20 people right now to believe that. Yeah, Kevin, I know a lot of the places, Kevin Widener just says maybe pre-reg only, but leave reg open until morning of. I thought about that, and I think that right now, just because of the timing and the time frame and how quickly this has come upon us, I don't think we can do that. I think we would exclude a third of our riders that just missed it or whatever. And the thing about it is, it's really difficult with pre-reg the morning of, because you'd almost have to do it the night before still, because you have to have time to look those up. And it's just not easy. It's not easy to look those up. I mean, it's not like you can just like pull up an app and, oh yeah, so-and-so registered 5 minutes ago. Here they go. Let's write them down. It's just not that easy, unfortunately. I mean, if all of the web-based things worked a little better and there was a little better procedure for that, maybe, but yeah. So I think what we're gonna do, Kevin, really is just push for online reg. Please do it. Please online reg. I really highly recommend it. Try to get as many people as we can to do that, which will limit the number of people in line for registration, which will then allow social distancing to be better, as well as it will allow people to have more space and everything of that nature. So hopefully we will get a substantial amount of pre-reg. And honestly, this year we've been really, really good, I've noticed, at pre-registering for our events. So hopefully with the need for caution, more will take up this. And again, we'll be pushing out online registration and information pretty much starting tomorrow. I mean, I'll push out some, and I'm really hoping that Team Phoenix will start pushing out stuff as well too. And we're really, really focused on trying to push online registration. But I think we still need to have day of reg. We just do. As a sport, we're behind the curve on that. I know there's plenty of sports that there is no day of reg. I mean, there's a lot of sports like that. It's just part of the game. Maybe one of these days we'll get to that, but maybe not. So. Yeah, for sure, Herb. Eureka Springs in 10 days. But see, the thing is the Arkansas ban is lifted, so you're totally good to go there. And I think their numbers are getting better. I haven't looked, honestly, in the last couple of weeks, so maybe things are better. But Eureka Springs is a little bit isolated outside of Northwest Arkansas area and the main areas. So I think you'll you'll be more than fine there. And that's a great area. And they've done so much good stuff with the trails out there. There's been a bunch of new additions. So if you're going to ride, I think you'll be great. Plus, there's a ton of gravel out there too. And so Alex also posted, says, you can go to Arkansas, but you can't stay overnight in hotels if you're from out of state. So I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know if there's other alternatives. I'm sure there's some workarounds for that. Who knows? We'll see. But keep that in mind if you're staying in a hotel. I guess camping is the key. I don't know. Maybe even camping's tricky. I don't know. Kevin says, I went to Arkansas 6 times the last 2 months. It's open, but food is drive-through only. Buy gas before you get into Arkansas and pee on the side of the road is at public restrooms. There you go, right? Oh, man. Don Jonathan says, we only have 30 people registered online. Well, Don, actually, I know you said only. I'd like to preface that with, you have 30 people registered. So let's start pubbing the heck out of that. Let's hit all the Facebook groups, get it on Instagram, and let's really start pushing people to do online reg. We need to do it off of the Wizard update because not everybody sees this. We need to get it on all the groups and text. And 30 people actually at this point in time is really pretty good for an event. So I think I had almost 90 people at Steve. And that's probably going to be, even though I had a bigger turnout because it was the opening and there was a lot of excitement because it was early in the season. You guys are going to have numbers because of location, because of the location of Oklahoma City and the proximity to all the different parts of Oklahoma. So I think if we start publicizing this on all the social media forums, getting online registration, I think you're going to see a significant jump. And I think people are really, really getting on board with that. I don't know an answer to that question, Derek, but I bet some people can answer that. Derek Gossard said, but can you camp in Arkansas? So there's probably several of you guys that know the answer. I do not know that answer. So. If Tesla comes to Tulsa next e-bikes, what's your reaction? I don't know. I like e-bikes. I like Elon Musk. I watched that space flight. Amy and my girlfriend, we were driving back to Oklahoma City, and we literally planned our stop because we knew that the launch of the rocket going to the space station was going to happen in the middle of our commute. So we stopped at on the turnpike at a rest stop, got off the side of the road, got a blanket out, and watched it on my iPad. So I don't know. I know that was a long way to go for a smart ass question, but I don't care. I think e-bikes are awesome. I love them. I think they have a perfect and awesome use. Either not for me. I'll probably have one at some point. Not right now, but I guarantee sometime down the road I'm going to have one. And I think they have a great place in our cycling community. I love them. Not worried about them at all. I don't care who makes them. I know our shop carries some pretty sweet ones, some Specialized. So come check out Bike Lab. See some bikes, get an e-bike. Herb says he signed up for an Airbnb, no problems. Yeah, good. Okay, so Airbnb in Arkansas is good. It looks like. Dude, I bet it was dirt cheap too because man, I saw a business article the other day talking about financials and stuff like that, and they said that a lot of the Airbnb folks that had many Airbnb homes were taking a flogging because they had monthly payments coming due for like 10, 15, 20 Airbnbs. and they had no people in them. So they were like just getting killed by payments without any money coming in. Yeah, for sure, Carolyn. 30 reg is a great sign, and honestly, this is early. I can see that number increasing greatly. I'll bet we'll have well over 100 pre-registered, which will honestly probably be a record. So. All right, let's see. Derek. Oh, John Denton, you started it, and then Derek just follows on board. You guys kill me. Yeah, exactly. Pollock McGinnis Kelly says, don't encourage him. I know, right? Let's see. Kevin Wagner, so do I, bro. He says, I need an e-bike to race trip. At this point in time, same. Kevin Caldwell, dude, that is such a great comment. Oh man, I'm not even gonna go there, Kevin. You guys got to go read Kevin's comment. I'm not even gonna talk about it. Inside joke. Some of you'll get it. That's baller, dude. That you just made that comment. Oh. Hey Daniel, for sure, bro. I've just not been ready to do anything like that, but it will. I mean, around the corner soon, very soon. I'm just like an hour 40, hour and a half out from you guys. So definitely count me in on some Thermal Thursdays. So any of you guys happen to be in the Wichita Falls area, I'm gonna cover two things here, real quick, because this comes up. They're doing Thermal Thursdays. They have some dirt crits that are happening every Thursday in Wichita Falls, 6 o'clock. If you're in the vicinity, go. I will also double up by saying that T-Bird has an unofficial, there's nothing official, but they're having a very similar dirt crit. I believe it's 6 or 6:30. I don't have the time offhand, but again, also every Thursday, T-Bird. They've got a course, doing a short course, and go check it out as well too. So yeah, Colton. Colton. Hit me up sometime, Colton, and I'll talk about the inside joke. But that was a great comment, Kevin. And Kevin was just having fun at the comment, and there's a whole story behind it. Goes back years, and it's a great story, and it's super fun. John, hit up Jay Black. He's the one that always has the link handy. I never can remember the damn link for the Draper permit. I did get mine though. It was actually pretty easy. I got it, boom, printed it out. I've got the printout hanging in my visor on my car. But yeah, hit up Jay Black. He's way better at that stuff than me. He has the link handy every time. I never can find the link, and then I try to go to the site and find it. I never can find it. So yeah, hit up Jay Black. Maybe he'll post it on here. Okay, Herb Brown says T-Bird crits are getting pushed back to 7 because it was so hot. So going to push back to 7. So guys, I am, holy crap. I'm an hour in and I'm still rolling. This went way longer than I anticipated. I am going to real quickly talk about my last topic. Then I'm probably just going to hold it off until next week and talk about it. But I do want to talk about it just briefly now. So as many of you know from the post that I made, there is a new fee structure going in for state parks here in Oklahoma. 22 parks. You can find listings. I posted posts about it. You can find it on oktravel.com. As well as there was some other article that started it all. I can't remember where the article came from. There are 22 parks in Oklahoma that now will have parking fees. The parking fee is $10 for out of state, $8 for in state. And there will be, you can also get an annual license. And I think you can also get like maybe a 3-week license or something like that if you're going to like be in the state for a certain time, or maybe you have a plan. And all of it's fairly reasonable. I don't have any issue with this. And again, only 22 parks are going to be doing this. I think their goal is, their hope is that the 22 parks, the fees for that will allow all of our parks to have funding, and they won't have to charge for all the parks. So anyway, this is happening. It will probably go into effect, I believe, next week is the plan. So just be prepared. I don't know how. I don't know that. I mean, most of our parks are not set up where there is someone checking in, where there's going to be you physically doing it. There's information. I've posted it on Facebook. There's a way to do it via text. There's a way to do it via an app. You can do it online prior to, and then you can print it out and have it on your car. It is a per vehicle fee. You're paying a day fee, so that's really good. So if you bring your whole family, you're paying just one $8 fee for your whole vehicle, and that's really not bad. I know a lot of the parks that we visit in other states charge that same fee, but it's per person. There you go, Jay Black with the link. I think you probably just had that sucker printed so you can copy and paste it, because we keep asking you. But a lot of like you go to Palo Duro and it's $8, but it's $8 per person. So you bring mom, dad, 3 kids. That's a big chunk just to get in the park. But anyway, so it's not too bad. There are discounts. Yeah, John just mentioned there are discounts. So basically, let's see. I think it's 62 and above. So 62 and above, free. Veterans, honorably discharged veterans, free. I believe free. Or is it 50%? I think it's free. Physically disabled, fully physically disabled residents of Oklahoma, 50% discount. Maybe some other things, but those are the biggies. So honestly, the fee structure is fairly sound, fairly reasonable. The only sticking issue that I have, and I've voiced my opinion about this to 2 of my friends who are park directors here in Oklahoma, as well as to someone at oktravel.com, the website, and someone higher up. And they did actually respond to me, and I do appreciate that. I should mention their name here, but I don't want to click off and pull the email up, and I didn't come fully prepared. My only sticking issue is that unlike many of the states around us, the annual license does not have an option for family license, and they do not have an option to they just don't have a way to tie it to an individual family, and they don't have any discounts to other people that live in your household. So the problem with that is that even for just a couple, just a boyfriend and a girlfriend, a husband and a wife, you have 2 cars. You do. Sometimes you take her car, sometimes you take his car. It's just the way it is. Or a few of you, sometimes you take her car, sometimes you take her car, sometimes you take his car. Get it? All right. So I'm being, covering all my bases here. Regardless, get two vehicle family. The annual is tied to a tag number and only a tag number. So you have to tie it to one of your vehicles. That means that if you go to a park that requires a fee, your annual fee doesn't work if you take the other car. So to me, that's a little oversight that I hope I'm going to try to get as much information out there as I can to all my friends that are in state parks and all the people at the state park level. I think this is just an oversight that they didn't anticipate. They didn't think about. They should have, because today I looked up Oklahoma and Colorado, and they both have discounts for they either have a family license, or they have a regular license, and then they have a significantly reduced, like, maybe $20, $25 license for others in your household. So like, for instance, I did the math, and in Texas, I could license my whole family. So I'm looking at, I've got 3 boys and me. So I've got 4 adults with 4 cars, because we're all, my kids are all 19 to 24. They do their own thing. They're all at state parks. We can't share the same vehicle. That's not reasonable. So they all live in my house. So I'm looking at $240 to annually license my whole family, because that's really what I have to do, because there's no family options. So that's a problem. Husband and wife, they essentially now have to, $60 license is good, but they now have to spend $120 to license both cars, or they have to be sure when they take the same car, because when they check you at the park, they're going to run your license tag. And if it doesn't match your license, then you get a ticket or a warning or whatever. I don't know how that's going to be. So, so that's my issue. They need to have a family structure. They need to have something like that, or other in-household reductions. I looked at Colorado and Texas. They both have those. I could license my whole family in Texas for like $180, $160. It was, higher, but it's not terrible. And then like in Colorado, it's much cheaper, and I could license my whole family for like $120, something of that nature, which really isn't crazy. So, John, you are correct. It's free for veterans, and then there are physically disabled residents. There are discounts. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, Roger. I agree. Roger says if someone feels sick and can't stay home because they pay $20 to $60 for a race, they need to rethink their moral values. I agree, Roger. But at the same time, as a race promoter and a race director and a series director, I need to take the stance that we'll be very flexible, and I don't want them to feel pressured. So that was a very good question. I still feel, I do agree with you. I think that should not ever come into play from an individual moral standpoint, but it will, and it does. And from my side of things, we'll figure something out. We'll give them that flexibility and work on something. So. Jeremy was asking. Yeah. So Don answered Jeremy's question. Jeremy asked about pre-registered riders before the reschedule versus after, and there were no pre-registered prior to. Thank you, Don, for answering. Okay, so I think I'm an hour 18 in, way longer than anticipated. So. So anyway, parking fees for some state parks. There's many that are listed. Right now, the only ones that are coming up on my radar are locally Great Plains, Steed. So if you guys are going to come there, it will impact you. But I think the parking fee is built into the camping fee. So if you're paying a camping fee, you're fine. Also, Roman Nose appears to be clear. It is not on the list. I know we don't race there as much anymore, but there's still trails out there and still done and still fine. We are looking at Lake Murray is on the list. Great trail system. So if you go ride Lake Murray, that will impact you. And also Lake T-Bird. So for those of you doing the Lake Thunderbird short track race, or not race, but short track event thing every Thursday at 7. Keep in mind that beginning next week, you will need to have some type of license. So, Paula McGinnis Kelly says, I know, right? That Draper annual permit for $25 doesn't look so bad now. No doubt. I mean, honestly, Paula, the $60 didn't bother me too much either when I first read into it. I was thinking $60, and I would be able to move that, like if my kid's going to go, I could give it to my kid, or it's like I could, it'd be a family thing, or, maybe I could pay $100 and get a family thing. I didn't know what the options were, but then the more I read into it, the more I realized that they didn't have it really worked out very well. So, I mean, honestly, $60 a year isn't too big of a deal for me, but the reality of it is I have 3 boys that have to deal with this too, because I mean, one of the main places that we go 20 minutes from my house now is on the list. So anyway, it does impact me. So I don't know. Hopefully enough word will get out, and they'll realize that it'll be just simply another option that they can add to add some family pack options, and maybe in the future they'll do that. Hopefully they will. Outside of that, honestly, the rest of the fee structure is really not that bad. I mean, truthfully, $60 to access all the parks in the state of Oklahoma, not a bad deal, really. I mean, I'm good with that. So, Renee Hernandez checked in. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Got here just in time to check out. So, yeah, I'm way deep in here. 9:21. I got to close up shop, and you guys have questions or comments, things like that, just hit me up privately, hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. I've got all kinds of contact stuff. And we'll get ready to do RDR 21st. Let's knock it out of the park. So, all right, we'll see you guys. Catch you next week. All right, that's ended. So now let's see if we get this ended. All right, I thought I ended it. And